Hello and welcome to another brand new edition of the Paranormal Concept Show, exclusive to the PAUK radio network, and it is finally 2022. I'm joined, I know, brilliant, isn't it? I'm joined, as you can already hear, by Richard and Kerry. Hello,
Still
guys.
partying away here in the background.
Yeah, we've still got our champagne and our party poppers on the go.
Well, put it away. We've got a show to do. Come on. I gave you a day off, Christmas Day.
This is true. We've had a nice break though, guys.
Oh, we have.
It's been good. It's been good. It's nice.
It was
nice to have a
kinda
little
needed.
rest.
Yeah, it was kind
I
of
think it
needed
was.
though, right?
Well, that's it. I mean, we could concentrate a little bit more on the background work for the 2022 shows.
Yeah, it was. I tell you what it does. It kind of taking a break is quite important because what it does is it helps you to like refocus, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh yeah.
Very much so.
And you think, okay, so what am I doing here? What what is going on with this? But New Year is always a traditional start to raising your New Year's resolutions. What resolutions did you set, boys, or did you not?
I haven't so much as set any. I don't tend to do resolutions. If I want to try and change something in my sort of like life, which most resolutions and revolve around, I sort of do it. I try and do it as and when I think about them, and throughout the year. So I don't tend to leave anything to the new year.
Paul?
Yeah. Well, I've decided not to do any resolutions.
Is that was your resolution
That's
not
my
to
New
do
Year's
any New Year's resolution?
No, on a serious note, I want to learn to do my driving test this year.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah, that's on the cards.
Oh, God help everybody on the roads if Paul gets let
Hell
loose.
yeah. I already said to someone the other day, I want a stock car to deal with all the idiots on the road.
You even got your new number plate, didn't you?
I did, Ecto 1.
Jeepers.
That's excellent.
What have you brought a number plate?
I got one for Christmas.
Oh right.
Ecto 1. It's from the Ghostbusters mobile.
Oh right, I see.
Yeah. Best present ever.
Oh God. Anyway, quickly though, Richard, did you have a good Christmas? Because we didn't hear from you for 3 weeks.
Christmas, yeah, it was a bit sort of like quiet in the Clements household. Most of the family's down with the dreaded lurgy.
Oh no.
But thankfully it's all the younger kids and everything, it's sort of nieces and nephews, and yeah, we've been sort of like hit a bit with the old COVID, but nothing there's no drama or anything. I mean, everyone's well as they can be, but it just seems to have gone through the young sort of nieces and nephews. They've all sort of seemed to come down with it, so we all sort of hunkered down and sort of went into sort of lockdown mode. So that's sort of basically that's what basically happened anyway, but they're all getting better, so
good.
Yeah, just one of those things.
Absolutely.
It does seem to be sort of quite spreading again, sort of.
Yeah, it does seem quite virulent at the moment.
Yeah, so
but they kind of expected that, didn't they, for the winter?
Yeah, so I sort of went round my parents and I sort of got the lateral flow tests out, and I was sort of gave them the tests, and they come up negative for myself and sort of stuff. So I just kept the three of us sort of just check and just keeping an eye on my two parents and myself. So we're still okay.
Good. I got an Acondi doll.
Oh no,
I saw that.
I'm so happy. You couldn't believe my face when I opened it. You should have taken a photograph. I've been wanting one for ages. And then obviously they're not the sort of thing that just like,
Where did he get that from?
From Curiosities of the Fifth Corner.
Oh, he actually bought one from there, did he? Oh,
yeah, apparently him and Henry. Oh, they've been little tete-a-tetes behind my back, guys. I was like, what?
That's terrible.
That's terrible, isn't it? He's met like Henry's girlfriend and his daughter and everything. I was like, what?
Well, he's been down there again.
Yeah.
He didn't take you. Ah.
Well, we had to go and pick Monocondi doll.
Ah.
And Henry had got all of them out for him so he could pick which one he thought was like the best. Not the best, but like the one, I don't
That he
know,
wanted. Yeah.
that he liked the look of, is how
Yeah,
I
I
put it.
did.
I like the look of that one. I mean, they're
I-
not pretty, but he liked the look of
No.
that one. And I was like, oh, I went to him, you intuitively chose one for me. He went, yeah, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah, I can imagine our Daryl saying that. Yeah. Oh well.
And my kids both went, oh no, she's got a voodoo doll. And now it's known as the cursed doll of the house. Why have you brought a cursed doll into the house, Mother? Why do you want a cursed doll?
So whereabouts in the house does that reside? On your desk?
No, she is a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's feminine. She sat up. You know where I keep all my herbs?
Yes.
Yeah.
She sat up on the top there,
Ooh.
Excellent.
presiding over the house.
But you do need a voodoo doll, don't you?
Do I?
Yeah, I can think of one particular person that you'd like to have a voodoo doll of.
Oh, there's quite a few. I've got a list.
Well, I can think of one in particular.
Oh, yeah. I have a list. But no, I have a little chat to her every morning.
You want a whole football team of voodoo dolls.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And it was like one of my friends messaged me and she's, what the hell is that? And I was
I can imagine.
it's an Anaconda doll. Like, you know, like everybody should know what one of those
Yeah,
is.
they
Right.
should.
For those who don't know, it's actually an African from the Congo area wooden idol that has been infused with or has got nails in it. And basically they're guardians. They're supernaturally charged by the Nganda of the village, and it's basically a form of intention setting. So like law, it comes into laws and orders and retributions and intentions and all those sort of, you know, social sets that we put out there. They're set into this Nikondido as an intention. And this is sort of where this kind of tonight's subject has sort of come from, really. Nothing to do with the Nikondido particularly, but being New Year and about setting intentions. I thought we'd take a look at the law of attraction, because that's basically what we're doing, isn't it? We're saying we're putting out an intention out there, and we're saying, like, we're going to manifest this in whatever form that is, whether it's a new car, driving, you know, giving up smoking, losing weight, I don't know, climbing Mount Everest. I don't know, whatever it is, you come to the new year and you go, right, what are my intentions for this year? What do I want to achieve this year? And that's really sort of what a New Year's resolution is. And so I thought, I started thinking about this. And funny enough, we talk about law of attraction, right? Because that's basically what intention setting is.
Yeah.
And a friend came into the shop and she was like, oh my God, have you heard of Secret? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, right, because I know this stuff, right? And she was like, yeah. And she went, oh, it works. It like so works. And then she told me this story. And it involved something quite mundane, really, something very materialistic, which is about a dog's bed. And she was moving, and her dog's getting older, and she wanted like some steps so the dog could get up on her bed rather than hurt itself getting up on the bed. And she was like, it was really expensive, the one she wanted. And she was like, I really, really want it, but I can't afford it. I can't justify that cost. So then she'd come across The Secret. So she did all the things The Secret told her to do. And when she moved into her house. And when they were sorting through, there was some stuff left in the garage. And then when she sorted through this stuff to get rid of it, there was this dog's bed, the one she wanted, in the garage. And she believes wholeheartedly that the reason that this has materialized in her life is because she's followed the teachings of The Secret.
Right.
So I thought we'd take a look at it tonight, because there are some aspects of the law of attraction that I do believe in, but there's a lot I don't as well.
Yeah.
So I want to look at this. So I thought we'd have a good little discussion about this one tonight. Now, if anybody out there doesn't know what The Secret is, basically, it's a lady called Rhonda Byrne who made a film in 2006, and it's about this secret, which is like the law of attraction. Now, she reckons this is a massive thing. I would say this is global sensation, I think we could call it. The book been translated into 50 different languages and is one of the longest running bestsellers.
All right.
Right, since it was written.
That's because she put it out into ethos.
Or is she a very canny businesswoman?
No, she wrote a book, obviously, and it's The Secret, so she can't tell you about it, but it worked.
Wow. Wow. Is it original?
Well, I'm not sure she plagiarised it at all, if that's what you mean.
I mean, she says that she's like, researched back through the centuries in a quest to discover what is the secret. And she went through ancient texts and civilizations and all of this, all to discover the secret. You know what I mean? And basically, it comes down to the one universal law.
I would have thought, there's a lot of secrets out there that she would have discovered going through the centuries and stuff that are much more pressing, like maybe who built the pyramids, and how they built them, and, how they come up with the idea, what they're actually used for would be nice.
Wow.
Sure, those secrets would have been a little bit better.
So basically, she's talking about the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it is. So, guys, if you don't want any spoilers, don't listen to the show.
Well, I've just actually bought the book on audiobooks, right? So I'm gonna have it read to me. So, because I don't want no spoilers, I'll see you later.
No,
Yeah.
you
Bye-bye.
get back in here, boy. I might
Okay.
blow a bit of your bubble when you're listening to it, but
worth a try.
So the thing is, I do buy into this to a point. Everybody. I do think that there are old sayings like birds of a feather flock together and things like that, right? And it is about finding your tribe. We talk about this kind of thing quite a lot. The problem I have with with The Secret, it becomes materialistic, and it takes the work out of it. It makes it sound very simple.
Yeah, because it makes no secret that that's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the law of attraction. And basically, under the law of attraction, the order of the universe is determined so that everything that comes into your life and everything you experience is all done through the power of your thought.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we're coming into mind power. The power of self.
Power of self, mindfulness.
Yeah. So law of attraction, mindfulness, all of these things. That's why I buy into some of this, because I do believe that you can achieve what you want to achieve with the right mental mindset.
Yeah.
And the right work. But it's work that you have to put in for that. You have to sign almost an agreement with self to achieve that, because nothing is going to be given to you on a plate. So I do believe that you have the mental mindset and focus and courage and determination and all of those things to achieve if you mentally mindset that for yourself. I don't believe that you can sit there and go, I wish to manifest this, and the universe is just going to give it to me. I believe the universe will give me opportunities to be able to achieve that.
Yeah.
But I don't believe it's just going to give it to me on a plate. No more than if I wish to manifest, I don't know, if I visualize myself with Magic Mike, he's not going to turn up on my doorstep. I'm going to have to go and work a bit for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put in a little bit of work.
And that's where I think this falls down a little. Because by saying that the magnetic power of your thought, all you have to do is think about it and it will happen, is too easy. In my opinion.
Yeah. No, I can understand that.
So I just wanted to have a look at this a little bit in depth, because this is like the main misunderstanding. It's a very new age thing these days. You see lots of life coaches and all of that sort of thing out there putting this kind of work out there, and I won't take anything away from those people, because I do think they have a very powerful message, and they allow you to tap into your own resources, and they give you tools to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So effectively, in The Secret, what she's doing is she's giving you certain tools to mentally set your mindset
Mm-hmm.
to be able to achieve it through meditation, visualization, focus, concentration, all those new agey kind of things, I suppose you would call it.
Yeah.
That but they're all mental mindset things. They're all
Mm-hmm.
tools that you can use. Tools being the operative word. In the same way as if you're a carpenter, you need tools to be able to work the wood into what it is you want to make. And there are skills that you need to learn to use those tools to get the best from those tools. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the thing. This is the point people seem to miss with this. And then they think it's like magical. If that makes sense.
See, I can liken it from someone even praying to God. You know, when they're putting their thought into the cosmos,
Oh,
and rather than coming back with whatever they prayed for, I think the best sum up of this is in one of the, is it Bruce Almighty or the other one, when they said if you pray to God for courage,
mm,
does he give you courage or does he give you the opportunity to be courageous?
yes.
And I
Mm.
think that sort of it sums it up. It's a bit similar to that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so I
you
get that.
you said something once um, about somebody who was stuck on a roof and they were praying and praying,
Oh yeah,
and
that's
then
it. Yeah,
he sent
it's a joke, isn't it? It's
yeah.
yeah, someone there was a flood and someone stuck on the roof, and he prayed to God for someone to rescue him, and a
Mm,
bloke come along and he said, well, you know, I've got a boat, jump in. And he's like, no, 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 don't worry about it. God's going to save me. So
mm,
off he goes. And then another bloke come up and he's like speedboat, whatever, and he's like, no, 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 God will save me. Bloke in a helicopter come along and he's like, no, God will save me. And then the bloke dies and he goes goes to God in heaven. And he says, why didn't you save me? He said, well, I sent you two boats and an helicopter. What more do you want?
yeah. So he gave him the opportunity. He gave him the opportunity, but he didn't take it. And
Yeah.
this is very much how I see this. If you open your mind to the possibility and the opportunity, and you're given the tools to be able to recognize those,
Hmm.
it's up to you whether or not you use those or not.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? And that this is basically the law of attraction. Okay, so let's look at this a little bit more in depth, because as I say, it's not overly magical, it's more psychological.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Now, The
I can see
Secret,
that.
as I said, was, it's gone global, it's a sensation, but it actually goes from it's not a new idea. There's a lot of people that buy into the teachings of a entity, we'll call it, of Abraham Hicks. Now,
Okay.
Abraham Hicks is basically a lady called Esther Hicks. Now, she goes by the name, I say goes by the name, she channels entities that she classes as Abraham Hicks.
Right.
But Esther is actually an American businesswoman,
Okay.
right? Now, Jerry Hicks, this is where the Amway connection comes in.
Oh, right. This is where it comes in. Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually a top level Amway salesman. So you've got very canny business people involved in this. Now,
Mm-hmm.
for me, that's ping number one on this one. Now, I'm not going to completely diss what they do or what's said, because I kind of do get it. But is it coming from entity or is it coming from self? Not me to answer that question. I'm not channeling Abraham myself. But she says that this Abraham is a collection, it's a group of non-physical entities, and she's labelled that as Abraham, right?
Okay.
Now, first of all, you've got the religious connection in there, Abraham, American. So it kind of hits the right kind of chord straight away. And basically, she's tapping into what she classes as infinite intelligence. Now, some of the teachings are what's important, right? More so than the entity perspective. How she's getting this information, we'll put to one side for the moment, because I want to focus on the teachings of what they're saying. Because again, this all comes down to law of attraction, and some of the things that he's saying, or this entity is saying, are what many other life coaches out there are using as their sort of blueprint for their way of being able to manifest what you desire kind of moment. Right? And the secret's no different. The secrets come off the back of these teachings. So a lot of what we're seeing out there with life coaches and that comes from this. Right? So first of all, the first point of this is that you are a physical extension of that which is non-physical. So basically, you're a spiritual person having you're a spiritual being having a physical experience.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I can
So
get
you're
that.
exactly. So you're only confined by the meat sack, basically. Yeah, that we carry around. We have to embody something, so we've chosen a meat sack to do it. But we are a spiritual person, a spiritual body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And that the physical is just an extension of that, right? Which that again, that's a term that we've used. I kind of get that, right?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, because I mean, we are spiritual beings because we all got soul, and we are confined by the body, the physical.
Because we're self-aware.
Yeah.
We not just that, but we self-evaluate. Most of us do. Our actions, if you have an action on another person, it doesn't make you feel good. You have a conscience, if you feel bad, if you've been horrible to somebody, you're like, oh God, I shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? We have that self-accountability and that self-awareness, and that's transcendent, isn't it, of the physical electrical signals that are going on that make us work. Yes?
Yeah.
So I get that. I get
Yeah,
that one.
I'm following you so far.
Yeah, Richard, you with me?
Yeah, carry on.
Okay,
with the woolwich.
Not many people are these days.
No,
you are
no
here.
one are closed.
Right, now this bit I have a bit of a okay. You are here in this body because you choose to be here. So basically, you're a spirit that has gone, I want a bit of a human experience. And then you get born into a physical body. And you've chosen that body and you've chosen that.
See, that could also account for the, like when children remember being
Like
killed.
reincarnated.
Yeah, that's it, reincarnation.
Yeah, I suppose it does carry that sort of like reincarnation, or that seems to be this sort of seems to be a bit of an Eastern philosophy they've sort of seem to have captured there, doesn't it?
I think you have to be careful with this. And this will be a theme. You are here in this body because you choose to be here. Okay. You choose to have a human experience. As a spiritual entity, you choose to have that experience as a human, to live, learn, and progress.
Yeah.
Where that becomes confusing for people is people that have a bad lot in life.
Yeah, people always moan about everything. Yeah.
I'm not talking about, we're very privileged in the West.
Mhm.
Does a child, for example, this is in Ethiopia, in drought, starving, would you choose to be there?
Not really, no.
You had a choice. Would you choose that?
No, but then maybe you're not. Maybe the choice is, do you want to go back? Not
What you
actually.
go
I
back
want to
to?
pick that one. Yeah.
Then there's no choice.
Well, there is. The choice is you either go back or you don't.
It goes on though, doesn't it? The
You asked me a
basis.
question.
No, and that's the point. No, but that's the point of today's show, isn't it?
Yeah,
To
yeah.
discuss these points. I mean, the basis of your life is freedom. The purpose of your life is joy.
But as you say, I mean, some people can sort of say, "Oh, yes, that's a good point to sort of, that's a nice idea that we choose to come back." But then there's always something straight afterwards, which is a bit of a knockdown. And why would people choose to come back if that was going to be their lot? I mean, it is a bit confusing.
And then to say that your life is freedom and the purpose of your life is joy. Yeah, life can be incredibly joyful. You know, it brings the highs and lows, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And, and to a degree, you are free. You're free to think and worship how we are in in the West. We are free to a degree. We're all tied by taxes and earning money to do the things we want to do, but that's social, cultural restrictions. That's not. Again, you kind of have to remove the materialistic part of this out of it and take it into your spiritual journey, not a materialistic journey. So yeah, the basis for your life is freedom. You're free to read, learn and educate yourself or achieve physically, or you are free to do that. No one's stopping you from doing that.
No, definitely not.
No matter what your physical capabilities are. You've only got to look at the Paralympics to see huge achievements beyond the physical. Yeah. And your purpose of life is joy. So what's the point in doing something if you don't like it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of understand that one. Now this is the bit I have a bit more of an issue with. You are a creator. You create with your every thought.
I've heard of being able to create, your thoughts can create sort of certain things around you, but every thought, I don't know.
I have been praying, well, not praying, that's not the right word. I've been visualizing. I have a skin problem, as you guys know. Years, ever since I got that skin disease, I've been visualizing not having that problem. Now, I could go to a teacher and they would go, "Oh, yeah, but that's where you're falling down on that one because you're focusing too much on it." But I've not healed my skin. My skin is a problem that I've had, oh God, since I was like knee-high to a grasshopper. Do you know what I mean? Nothing changes that. I've tried the normal everyday routes, but as a spiritual person, if that's the case, if I'm creating with my every thought, I should have clear skin because I am creating that. My skin is pure, it is clean, it is perfect, it is all those beautiful, wonderful thoughts you could have about that. I'm healing. It is healing. My skin has other ideas at times. You know what I mean? But I kind of have a bit of an issue with that. I create my life, yes, and I do that through action.
And you could create, I mean, we are talking spiritually here. So, with every thought that you have, you're creating your spiritual path.
Yeah.
So, it's not a physical manifestation. It's your path that you're creating.
On
So
a spirit,
technically, yeah, and I can see that as well.
yeah. See, on a spiritual perspective, I get it, but they take it into the physical. They bring it into the manifesting of materialistic goods. And that's the bit I have an issue with.
Mm.
And this is the problem that I have with these. These are sales techniques,
Yeah.
basically.
But, you know, I'm also a great believer in karma.
Yeah.
You know, so someone does something bad to me, I'm like, well, karma's going to get you.
Sit
And then
back and let it happen.
a few weeks later, something bad happens to him.
Mm.
And like, see, I knew that'd happen.
Mm. You don't have to do anything for that.
No, exactly.
Right? Anything that you can imagine is yours to be or do or have. What do we think of that one then?
It's an interesting one. I mean, but you sort of say it, and it goes, yes, this happens, this happens, this happens. But does this process have an answer to things you want to manifest that don't happen?
No, you just have to give it time.
No, but then again, you know, you're talking about manifestation of physical things, where I believe that this is talking about your spiritual being. So
Okay.
I mean, you know, like for example, I mean, you know me really well. I don't do stress. If someone gets annoyed about something that I do, it's not my problem. It's their problem because they're the one with the issue, not me. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, and I think that's sort of what it's sort of getting at.
I don't disagree. And like I say, I get it from the spiritual perspective. I totally get it from a spiritual perspective. But these people are taking it into the manifestation as in materialistic goods and career paths and, you know, things like that. Right, which I don't, again, on a certain level, I don't disagree with. If you work hard enough and you go out and you get the qualifications to get the job and, you know, all those sort of things, you have to do that. It's not going to come to you on a platter.
No, that's right.
You know,
you
have
only
to
get in, you only get out what you put in.
Exactly. You have to mentally mindset yourself to achieve that goal. So you take the steps to achieve that goal. Right? I get that. So if I want to imagine myself, I don't know, as a supermodel, I'm sorry, folks. I mean, never going to happen, is it? I can do all the imagining I want to be. I can do all the steps I need to, like the diet and the, I don't know, décolletage training, and you know, I could do all of that. But I'm not pretty enough to be a supermodel, a model, any kind of model. Do you know what I mean? I'm just not.
I don't know. I think your partner will disagree. If you started
one person, I'm not going to sell a product to one
but
person.
even all the people that you've been out with in the past, I'm sure if you sent them model pictures of you modelling, I'm sure they'd be happy with that.
Yeah, but they know me.
Not the point.
Well, they're going to be nice to me. Well, maybe not, but you know, generally, hopefully, at least they would at least lie to me. You know what I mean? But do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
To be a supermodel is basically a person selling a product, a physical product, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm never going to be that. I'm realistic about my expectations on this, guys. I'm not dissing myself at all. I know my level. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not going to be able to imagine, no matter how much I imagine that. And bearing in mind, is that anything that you can imagine is yours to be or do or have. That is what that said. That I've quoted that. That is off.
Yeah.
That's off the Abraham Hicks website, right? Right. Anything. To a degree, I think there needs to be a proviso with manage your expectations on that one.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
What I might be able to achieve under that premise of my example, I possibly could, if I really wanted to, hashtag I don't, but if I did, run a modelling agency. So I'm like the powerhouse behind the supermodels. Do you know what I mean? I probably could achieve that.
That'd make sense, yeah.
But I'm not going to be able to be a supermodel myself. First of all, I'm not tall enough. Secondly, I'm not skinny enough. Thirdly, I'm not pretty enough. Do you know what? There's some pretty good criteria there as to why I could not be.
No, but then
Yeah,
if you're
okay.
running your own if you're running your own modelling agency, you can be whatever you like.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I would be that supermodel, guys.
Exactly.
But do you see what I mean? There are ways of managing that, managing your expectations and achieving that. So it's not anything, is it?
No.
There should be a proviso on there.
Yeah.
Be realistic.
Maybe a line saying this is for entertainment purposes only.
Or be realistic.
Yeah.
yeah, caveat. Yeah, but be realistic. Yeah.
Manage your expectations and be realistic. Now, right, as you are choosing your thoughts, your emotions are guiding you. Now, this I do buy into. This is emotional intelligence.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do agree with that personally. I mean, your emotions, and even though they shouldn't at times, is one of the most powerful driving forces behind your daily actions and stuff like that, or how you react to stuff, especially.
And it is what you think about.
I would
So
say
say-
it's especially through anger as well. You
Yeah.
know, you can, you could end up in a lot of trouble by going, like someone done something to you and you're really angry and you go like, I could really kill him. You could end up in a lot of trouble over that.
Yeah, because your emotions then like are ruling the roost
Mm.
on
Yeah.
that one. So you have to be emotionally intelligent. And I do agree with that. And your thoughts definitely do. It's like a very, very close relationship between emotion and thought.
Yeah.
So you do have to mind your thoughts in regards to your emotional mind, your emotional well-being.
Definitely.
On this one, use the example of a really bad breakup. You're devastated, and all you can do is fixate on the person that you've lost and lost, and you're grieving through that loss, and it's a painful experience. It's horrible.
Yeah, and then what you should actually be doing is changing the locks and like getting all the clothes out of your wardrobe and burning them and throwing them over the balcony and things like that. Yeah.
Slinging them off the balcony.
Yeah, cut them up if you want to do that.
Well, recognize it's a process and that you are okay and you will be okay and you will come out the other side. You just have to go through that process and don't let your emotions override you
Yeah.
throughout that pain. Very easy to say, not so easy to do, but I do think emotional intelligence on that one is actually, I do buy into that one.
Mhm.
Choose your thoughts and your emotions then guide you with that one. If you want to focus on anger, pain and disappointment and all of the negative emotions, then emotionally you're going to be negative.
Yeah.
Right? This does not, and I'm going to put a proviso on this one as well. It's got nothing to do with physical reasons as to why you're emotionally depressed or whatever. That's something different. Yes.
Yeah.
Because there are physical reasons why your emotions can be crap
Affected.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, affected. That's the word. So in regards to like if you're generally well, nothing physically wrong with you, yeah, your thoughts can affect how you feel.
Mm.
Right. The next one. The universe adores you, for it knows your broadest intentions.
Well, it does absolutely.
Yeah.
I could feel that now.
Yeah. But again, I think it is about your intention, isn't it? You know your broadest intentions. You know what you want to achieve and what you intend to do. Intentions, intent to do. That's an action word. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you focus on that and you go for that, then yeah, the universe will adore you for it. It's not going to give it to you, but it will adore you for it.
Yeah, you haven't killed anyone this
Yeah,
week.
but look at you and say, "Oh, great! Look at you, carry on."
Yeah. Gold star for you.
Yeah, gold star.
Go for it. It's almost like the universe is your biggest cheerleader,
Yeah.
but you're the one having to be on the football field doing the work.
Mhm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Relax into your natural well-being. All is well. It really is.
Yep, I do that all the time.
Well,
Rich.
yeah, relaxing to your natural well-being. I don't know quite what's actually meant by that. All is well. Well, if
It is what it is at the end of the day. That's what it means.
yeah, I suppose it does. Yeah, just
It
Go
is
with
what
the
it is. To get
flow.
on with it. It's
Go
gonna be
with the
all right.
flow.
go
Yeah.
with the flow.
That's probably more easier to understand. Just go with the
Yeah.
flow. There's nothing you can do to change circumstances sometimes, so you just go with the flow.
Yeah, that's
Roll
it.
with the punches.
As I said, it is what it is to get over it. That's what it's that's what it means.
Mhm.
Literally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Action to be taken and possessions to be exchanged are byproducts of your focus on joy.
So you give all your chattels away, is it?
No, I think it's about what you get if you're focusing on what you want.
Mm.
No, joy. You're doing things in your life that make you feel good.
It's give and take, isn't it?
Yeah, and basically what it's saying is that if you're doing something you're passionate about and something you love and something that's good and kind in whatever form that takes, yeah, then you'll reap benefit from that.
Right.
Unless you play Monopoly and then stick to the rules. Because you don't want to give your possessions out then.
No, that's
Or your
business.
hotels, yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, that applies to everything except Monopoly.
I think that's what that's saying. I think if you're passionate about something, you're going to put more effort into it because you enjoy it.
Yeah, no,
And if
that's
you know,
right.
if you do it with a good intention, like, helping people or kindness or, all of those kind of things,
Hmm.
yeah, then you're going to reap the benefit from that, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. And again, it comes down to karma, doesn't it? Because it doesn't just work for negative things. If you do something positive, you're going to get positive back.
Exactly. Exactly. I get that. I get that. Now the next one's a bit controversial. You may appropriately depart your body without illness or pain.
I've yet to meet anyone that's done that yet successfully.
Yeah, but then people have out of body experiences and stuff, don't they? It has been
Well,
reported.
you do have that, but
And lucid dreaming as well. That's another way of doing it, I suppose. And then
Okay, you
when your
read that differently
body
to me.
when your body's knackered and wants to shuffle off the mortal coil, you're free from illness and pain. So they say.
I have to say that at the point of death, at that point,
Mm.
and this I've heard this from many a care worker who deal with end of life care, that at the end it is a peaceful transition.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's only at the point of death, not the journey to that necessarily.
Yeah.
And I
Mm.
think that could be misread quite a lot. You took it in a different way to how I read that, Paul, to be fair. You saw
Yeah.
it as a spiritual leaving of the physical, not necessarily dying.
Yeah, but then most of these, I still think that most of these are linked to the spiritual and not the physical.
Mm.
So yeah, because I'm looking at it spiritually throughout the whole thing, yeah, that's what it says to me.
Okay. Richard, how did you read that?
Yeah, I don't know. I was sort of like looking at it and, depart your body, it sort of, it sounds too flippant to me. It sounds like, you can literally do this, come and go as you please, which I don't think is as straightforward as that.
No. I think a lot of this is open to interpretation in regards
Definitely.
to like how you like just that particular one. I've read that differently. You've read that differently. And that's fine. That's fine. This is the whole point of this show. It's about perception and interpretation of what these teachings are.
And I think it helps that we're on our own journeys, on our own paths,
Yeah.
And that's, that's how we take it, so yeah, I think that's
I think the danger
sense.
comes from this is that all of these things are dressed up as a brand for me.
Yeah.
These are spiritual teachings, which I do think are relevant. Yeah, I do think there's a certain amount of truth to them, but they're multi-layered in regards to perception.
Yeah.
And that's where the danger is. I think you can buy into The Secret or Abraham Hicks or any of the other motivational speakers that are out there easily. But
Yeah.
it, like Richard said, they're very flippant. It feels very flippant. It feels very easy. But these aren't easy. None of these steps, and I've said this, we talked about meditation with you, Paul. It's easy to talk about it, not so easy to do about it. So putting things into practice is not as easy as you're going to read the book or have the book read to you through audiobook. A lot of what that you're going to hear is relevant, but not easy to achieve, because it's not about physical attainment. It's about a spiritual attainment.
Yeah, but then it's pretty much like reading the Bible.
Yes.
It's down to interpretation.
Exactly.
And if you're on that spiritual path, you're going to take it spiritually. And if you're not, then you're going to take it literally, and you're going to be baffled by some of it. Like, yeah, it just I think so far it's made sense spiritually.
Spiritually, these are important. There are some important lessons in that, but some of them are very dangerous because they're branded. These are now branded. The Secret's branded.
Yeah.
Abraham Hicks is branded. They're selling. It's commercial. It's money. It's business. It's entertainment industry. It's It's a bit like this is the entertainment side, the money side,
Yeah.
spiritual awakening. They're going to take you so far. They're going to have an answer for everything.
Well, the church will do that as well.
But how far you progress for yourself is the key to this one.
Yeah, but then it's like any book that you buy. I mean, even if you buy a crystal book, it only goes so far before you have to then go a bit further and look for yourself and research and stuff like that. You can only get so much. I mean, tarot cards. When you buy tarot cards, they come with a little book. Now, you've told me, Kerry, loads of times that it isn't just about what it says in that book.
Yeah, totally.
So it's exactly the same with this, isn't it, really?
It's tuning into your own intuition. It's knowing self. It's about doing the work and discovering parts of yourself that you didn't necessarily recognize. It's levels of self-awareness that you wouldn't necessarily want to explore. Spiritual work is, I've said this 100 times, it's not pretty. It can be very self-destructive in some ways. But coming out of it the other side is the key. Setting boundaries, saying no, self-care is self-worth, all of those things. Do you know what I mean? So I totally get. And the manifestation side, these are topics that I work with. These are subjects that I work with daily in my crystal work. So effectively, a lot of these teachings you come across in regards to other things. So, I've come across these terms and these works when I've worked spiritually in regards to, ritual and crystal work and linking into energy and all that sort of thing. So I get it on a fundamental level. Yeah. But what I have a problem with is that these aren't secrets.
Well, they're not now. They're on a podcast.
Well, they're not now because there's been a film and a book and Abraham Hicks, and these are now businesses. In the same way, the church is corrupted. Yeah, in the same way.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Hashtag sorry. But if you look at the pure teachings, if you purify it down and take the lessons that are laid out in the Bible, religion, shall we say, there is a purity to it. There is a spiritual side to it that is incredibly pure.
Yeah.
And humans, as humans do, we kind of make them work for what makes us powerful and gets us money, and
Yeah, like
the
in the
usual
Bible when they
things.
say about paying your taxes.
Mm.
I don't believe for 1 minute God turned around and said, "Oh yeah, can you just put in a clause to say you got to pay your tax
Mm-hmm.
because I want that." So, yeah, right, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think what people have to understand is that, like, the power of manifestation for an intention, yeah,
Yeah.
is about, it's not just about I think, therefore it will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? You can't, sometimes things will happen anyway, whether you thought about it or not.
Definitely.
Yeah. And this will work good or bad. So, oh God, I don't know. Trying to think of an example. So say I was like going to work and I was thinking, God, I might have a car crash today. And then I have a car crash.
Yeah.
Have I manifested that car crash? No. Chances are that would have
No.
happened anyway.
Yeah, of course it would.
Maybe on some level my intuition is picking up on something that's a possibility. I don't know.
Premonition.
Possibly. Or maybe I'm not in the right state of mind to be driving, or
You could have been
it
drunk.
just is coincidence, guys. You know what I mean? It could just be. So just because you've thought that doesn't necessarily make that happen. So you have to look between the correlation of the relationship between that and point A of, I think that might happen, and point B, it did happen.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Just because you thought it doesn't necessarily mean it happened because of that. It could just be coincidence. There's not necessarily a correlation. If you do you can generally find, I learned about this in physics, believe it or not, that if you take enough points of data on something, you can generally find a correlation between something.
Okay.
Even if it's minute, you can find a correlation somewhere. That doesn't mean that there is a distinct direct correlation, but patterns. We are trained to recognize patterns in things. Our brains are wired for that.
They are.
So you can't prove, shall I say, that because you thought it happened. There's many other things that go on in between that before you can say that this works.
Yeah.
So that's the problem, isn't it?
No, that's right. Yeah, it makes sense.
And the other thing is, like, a lot of these, and I'm talking about The Secret on this particular one, is like they talk about like, for example, they talk about a poverty mindset. It restricts you from earning more money because you don't think you're worth it. Because you're only ever used to poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So you don't achieve further. So you don't
right.
achieve further because you're in a poverty mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and because you don't believe that you can be better than that, you don't.
Yeah.
So again, it's a double-edged sword on that one, because yes, I kind of get that. But then on the other hand, some people are trapped. They cannot get out of that.
I suppose it is hard to get out of that sort of mindset.
Yeah. It's just like, because, and I'm going to quote this: if you have any lack, if you are prey to poverty or disease, it is because you do not believe or do not understand the power that is yours. That's fine. I kind of get that. But on the same score, if you are prey to poverty or disease, I've known people go into desperate poverty through no fault of their own.
I can understand to a point, but then you get people that are disabled, and one of our friends, Mark, his class is disabled, but that guy just does not know when to quit. He will do anything. He does everything an able-bodied person could do, and so much more.
Yeah, totally agree. I think it's
So I
amazing.
think that's how I see that.
But put that to somebody who's I don't know, suffering from cancer and going through the most horrendous treatments and is physically crippled because of the treatment to the disease that they've got. Well, it's all in your mind.
Yeah, again,
You do not believe, or you
sometimes
do not understand the power that is yours.
sometimes positive thinking is a good um, m- uh, a good way of thinking, because it does have an effect, and it might make you fight that little bit harder. Maybe that's what it's trying to get at. Have a positive attitude, and then you'll get positive. So if you do have cancer, maybe a good attitude to have would be to fight that cancer, and people have beaten it before. I know that not everyone does, and personally, I don't think we should have a cure for cancer by now. But I do think that the power of the mind is a strong thing.
No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree, and I say it many, many times. The battle of cancer is more than a physical; it's a mental battle as much
Yeah.
as anything else.
Absolutely, yeah,
However, that is also it's a bit shaming if you're having a hard time, struggling mentally whilst going through horrendous treatments. That's a bit shaming. Well, it's your
yeah,
lack. I mean, another thing I'm going to quote again: you cannot catch anything unless you think you can. Okay, that statement is quite positive. Yeah, I can go. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can get it. Right? And thinking you can is inviting it to you with your thought. You are also inviting illness if you are listening to people talking about their illness. As you listen, you are giving all your thought and focus to illness, and you give all your thought to something, you are asking for it. That is dangerous.
Right.
Do you not think?
yeah. But I think like
It's
Okay,
quite.
so let's talk about nurses then. A nurse who works on a, I don't know, palliative care unit.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's surrounded by illness. She is like dealing with that day in, day out. That's her job. Yeah, to
yeah,
go in and deal with people who are focused on their illness.
yeah,
So her thoughts are going to be about illness.
yeah.
She's going to be listening to people talking about their illness.
But
She's gonna.
her training would give her the extra knowledge to protect herself from that. But it'll also say that you're not infallible. There is still a possibility that you could catch it if it was a disease that you could catch.
Hmm.
I do a lot of ambulance work. Um, Part of my job is that I could deal with people with Hep A and B and C and what
Yeah.
to do. But I'm aware of that. I know that I'm not infallible for catching it, but I have my protective clothing. I've got gloves to wear. I also have the Hep B, A and B jab and
Mhm.
everything else to go with it. So I do what I can to protect myself, but there's still a possibility that I may get it.
The inference, though, is that you're only poor because of your thoughts, or you're only sick because of your thoughts of illness.
But
So if
then,
you are sick, you can't help but think, I'm sick. Sorry. Sod
see
everybody, but I'm
that
really
sort of
not well at the moment.
that
Oh, hang
sort
on a
of
minute. I'm focusing on my illness, therefore I am making myself ill.
that a prime example, and very current as well with the COVID, anti-vaxxers that think that they won't catch it because it's made up. They're the dangerous ones, because they'll go out without wearing masks and stuff like that to protect themselves and others, because they think that it's all made up and they won't catch it. Well, they will, and they're the ones that are going to be spreading it more than anyone else.
But by the law of attraction, if we're going back to what this is saying, it's saying that they don't believe it, so it won't happen to them because their power of manifestation is that strong that they won't get it. You and I know that's wrong. You and I know that's different. But that's what the danger is in this. Can you not understand why?
Yeah.
Why certain aspects are dangerous? Because that's what this is inferring. It's not saying it outright, but that's what it's inferring. Because it's saying that your thoughts are what you're going to get. But if you think you're poor, you're going to stay poor. If you think you're ill, you're going to be ill. If you think you won't catch something, you won't catch it. Do you know what I mean? That's what it infers. It's a deeper teaching than that.
Yeah, definitely.
But that is basically what it's inferring. And unless you really dig deep and look at it and really, really examine what it's saying, which you need to do with all of these, that's what the layman would take from that.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
And that's the danger of this.
Yeah.
It is insulting to people who are ill or poor or in situations they can't get out of because of violence. Yeah? Imagine living in a city, a war-torn city that's no fault of your own. You can't get out of that situation. That's you manifesting that is. You're thinking that. You're thinking of violence, so it's all around you. No, it's not their thinking of violence. They can't help but think of it because they're living it.
Yeah.
But they can't get out of it. But by the law of this, you are what you're the law of attraction. You think, therefore it will happen. So you're living in a war-torn zone, yeah? And you're supposed to focus on joy and wonderful things, and it will happen for you. You might be able to maintain positivity in that crappy situation, but you can't help but focus on what's around you because it's affecting your safety and security, a fundamental fact of human. So go back to emotional intelligence, yeah? What people strive for on their day-to-day, first things first, it's safety and security and food and water and warmth.
Yeah.
Your basics of life. And the minute they're threatened, by something, it unstables us.
Yeah.
Now, we can strive our way out of things in a very entitled way in the West, but in other places or in personal circumstances, you can't manifest your way out of that or law of attract your way out of that. To a degree you can, because you personally can take the positive steps to get yourself out of that situation. Yeah?
Yeah.
Only to a point.
And I think it's almost like they're saying that with change, the only thing that can change anything in your future is you.
Yeah.
So, if you have a positive outlook, I suppose, then... But I think
But what you're
still,
doing is you're taking in the external influences away.
Yeah.
So if you do that, that's fine. If you don't look at your external influences, beautiful. Yeah? But when you've got external influences affecting your life, you are tied by cultural and social influences on your life that's not always easy to get out of.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
And you've only got to look at some of the emigrations that are happening, people leaving war-torn countries with their families to try to get to a safer environment. Every step of that journey is fraught and dangerous and violent and, ripped off at every situation and taking risks you wouldn't normally take. But you're that desperate to get out of it. Yes, they're taking positive steps because they're leaving that environment to try to better themselves. But look at the journey they've got to go through to get there. And then when they get there, the country that they get to, they go, oh, we don't want immigrants here, taking our jobs and our women. That kind of scenario. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I find this dangerous. That's why I find this dangerous, because it takes out that external influence and it's insulting to those people, even on a basic level of somebody who's poor or somebody who's in a violent situation that they can't get out of, or They have restrictions imposed on them by their government or whatever. So the fundamental teachings for self are important. However, you are so impacted by your external influences, it is a little dangerous to take this on face value. You have to dig deeper. That's my argument on this one. And I'm a great advocate for power of manifestation.
Yeah. Interesting one.
Yeah. To say that your thoughts create everything that happens to you in terms of your health, wealth, and circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pseudoscience.
Definitely.
It's not based in fact. It's not supported by scientific evidence.
No.
There is a correlation between how you respond to experiences that you come across. But that's a personal response to something. Not, I thought it, therefore it was.
Therefore it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. I agree with that.
On that note, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to take a breather. On
Thank
that
God
one.
for that.
See, this is not as easy as we thought it was going to be, is it?
No, I don't
It
like this
raises
one.
a lot of issues on this.
Yeah, I've got to read the book.
Yeah, honestly, it's an eye-opener. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are actually going to explore this a little bit more in depth. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, Harry Price here. If there's nothing me and my friends enjoy more here on the other side, it is to sit back and relax and listen to the Paranormal Concept Show, right here on the PAUK radio network. Broadcasting a plethora of interesting and informative content for all your paranormal needs. Find them across social media to keep up to date with forthcoming shows and all their other adventures. Hello, is there anybody there?
And welcome back to the Paranormal Concept Show, exclusive to the Paranormal UK radio network. So we're looking at the power and law of attraction, guys, tonight. So far, we have sort of like come to the understanding that, it's a little bit more in depth than certain inspirational people have put out there, right?
Oh, absolutely. During half time, I had to get some earplugs because my brain was just dripping out.
Yeah, but it's you certainly sent us on a road that sort of started off sort of positive, and then you sort of see things. Is this right? Can they say this? But obviously, there's
they're saying it.
It's a huge movement. This.
It will work for. Don't get me wrong. It will resonate. For a lot of people, it'll work for a lot of people because they believe it, and it actually does open your mind to possibility. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the law of attraction works. It just means that you've opened the possibility, you've opened the door of opportunity effectively for it. So I find myself on this one going backwards and forwards on it because I do, like I say, I work with these techniques myself. So, I know to a degree they will work, but I also recognize the internal work and I say work, physical work as well as internal work, the process that needs to go on. It's not so easy as just imagining something and it happening. It's a bigger thing than that. And there are truths within that you have to recognize. And I do find certain teachings unpalatable for the reasons of it's not a one thing fixes all kind of scenario. Do you know what I mean? Whatever circumstance you're in, yes, you can use these techniques to fortify your progression and be centered in self, but it's too shaming at times for people, And that's not what it's about. It's not about shaming the circumstance you're in. It's about helping you give the tools so you can deal with the circumstance you're in and do what you can do, not anybody else, self, what you can do within to make those circumstances better.
Mm.
We've
Yeah,
all
so
read
it's pretty
about those
much,
kids that, are, in horrendous circumstances, but still trying to learn and educate themselves to progress themselves. We've all read those circumstances where, in war-torn countries, you get, innovative things coming out of that. We've all heard of those circumstances, and that is a person making the best of their circumstances and being quite canny with the tools that they've been given and having the faith in self to do it.
yeah, I think, it works on a spiritual level, as I said before, not so much a physical level, because there are limitations.
You work on self first, and then the
Yeah.
manifestation of physical comes into it later.
Mhm.
And also the other thing is there's no time limit on this. So what, you set stuff in stone or set the seeds now, it will happen as it's supposed to happen. It will unfold as it's supposed to happen as long as you keep focused and concentrate on the goal ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah, and put the
Right.
work in to do it. It will
Yeah.
come to fruition when it needs to. No forcing it, or this is where memes come in. That again can be very destructive to somebody who's like, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of one now. Where you put the seeds in and it's like, oh, within 6 months this is going to happen, and it doesn't. And then
Yeah.
you think, oh, I'm a failure. You're not a failure. It's just going to take a bit more work, a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Things will come to fruition when they're supposed to.
It's like those silly ones with the teddy bear and the love heart thing, and they go, well, if you pass this, good things will happen to you in a week.
Mm.
And it's like, really? Go away.
It's not. It's not.
They go straight in my recycling bin.
Again, it's not as easy as that, is it?
No.
Pray and this child will get healed. No, it's not as easy as that. It's things like that that's the dangerous side of it.
Mm.
That's the surface cell side to it. That
But
is not.
things don't always happen how you think, though, because as you said, if you've got a terminally ill child
Mhm.
and you pray for it to be healed or not suffer anymore, and then it passes,
Mm.
technically, as harsh as it sounds, you effectively healed that child because he's not suffering anymore.
Mm.
We're not healed it
Yeah.
as such, but you get what I'm saying. And I know it's quite harsh and nasty, but it's that child is no longer suffering,
Mm.
and that's the best anyone can really hope for.
So you have to make that distinction between causation. So your thoughts are causing something to happen. There's no scientific fact in that whatsoever.
No.
Or correlation, a perceived correlation. I thought it and then it happened. Well, it must be true, right? So, and we're great at putting 2 and 2 together and making 5.
Definitely.
Joining dots that aren't there. We are seeing patterns in things that aren't there. I mean, you only have to look at,
Who shot
pareidolia.
JFK?
Pareidolia, I was going with there.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Our brains are trained to see patterns.
Oh, yeah.
And we do that with everything. It's not just like what we see. It's, facts and things like that. That's why we're so awful at the mental gymnastics of things. I mean, I've said this to you before. God, they went through a certain amount of mental gymnastics to get that outcome or that logic out of there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, how did they get the mental gymnastics of that? That to me is crazy.
Sounds
But,
like our off-air chats.
yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So you have to keep those factors purely in there. I mean, we know the brain can be tricked,
Definitely can, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We know it can. This is scientific, right? If you want to look at a scientific example, look at the placebo,
Yep.
right? The power of expectation, this is, right? So you do a trial, you've got a drug trial going on, right? To see if this drug that we've made has an effect. So they'll give a certain amount of people the real drug.
Yep.
And they'll give a certain amount of people in the same study a placebo, a nothing drug.
Mhm.
Yeah, it looks the same, tastes the same. People think it's going to act the same, and then what they do is they look at the results and then they see if it did actually have an effect. Correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Like in a drug trial, sometimes they have
Yeah.
like 50 candidates that are found through A&E departments or whatever, and only 5 of those will be given the actual drug. The rest will have this placebo pill, whatever, and then only a few doctors will know who's been given what.
Yeah.
So it's not a general thing that everyone would know. And then results are kept. They're kept secret, and it's only like the scientists will go, actually, yeah, look, this worked.
Yeah.
And they'll look at the data, won't they? And again, look for patterns, I suppose.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're looking for.
That's exactly it. However, between 30 and 60% of patients, their conditions will improve under the placebo.
Yeah, and that's the power of positive thinking.
That's the power of expectation, not positive thinking. You expect the medicine to work, so it does.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's the difference. And so your brain can be tricked. Yeah. This pill is going to cure me, so it will. You expect that medicine to work, so you get better, even though you've been given a placebo tablet.
Yeah.
You don't know that, but your brain believes believes. Now, this is a key word. This is coming up. We've talked about this many times last year. It's probably going to be a theme that we go forward with, because belief comes into this. You believe it works, so it does. So it's the power of expectation. And it works the opposite way as well, the nocebo effect. We've talked about that before as well.
We have,
so if you expect a side effect from a pill, you watch for it.
Yeah.
Right? So how many people, I hold my hands up, I don't read the thing unless I get something. If I take a tablet and I get a negative effect, I feel worse, for example, then I might read the pamphlet inside to see if it's a recognised side effect of the pill I'm taking. But I don't before.
Yeah, I must admit, I don't, because I can't see them. To be fair, they're so small, minute writing. Yeah, so I've got myself a nurse's book that with all the pills and stuff in. The writing's a little bit bigger than one of them, but the book's like 80 quid.
So if you was given a new tablet, would you read up the side effects?
No.
Would you, Richard?
No, not really. No, I'll just cast caution to the wind and just take them.
And you'd only look at it really if you were starting to get a negative.
If I was starting,
I think this could be this could be a side effect of the pill I'm taking. But if you do read it before you start taking your pill, there is something called the nocebo effect, which is the reverse. You expect the side effects, therefore you get the side effects. And
I call them hypochondriacs.
Yeah, but this happens even under these tests as well. They've tested the nocebo effect the same way they have the placebo effect. So they know that these are medically applied effects that can happen through psychological expectation.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a sentence and a half, wasn't it, folks?
It was.
You've done well there, dear.
I'm surprised you pronounced that one right.
Well I didn't even read that. That came out my brain.
Brilliant.
So far, so good into the new year.
Yeah. Keep going.
3 weeks off, doing really well. Right, now we also have something called confirmation bias. We've talked about this before.
We've had that on the show as well.
Yeah, which for people with an interest in the paranormal should or do know a little bit about.
Right, so let's go over that again. Confirmation bias is basically taking pieces of information that confirm our existing beliefs and ideas. Okay?
Yeah.
To change our internal belief system is incredibly difficult. So even when challenged with pure fact that you cannot dispute, you are likely to dismiss it under your confirmation bias.
Yeah.
All right? So we misjudge crap loads of stuff because of our own internal confirmation bias based on our belief systems, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it brings back the age-old argument of orbs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
believe an orb is a spirit manifestation, therefore, no matter what anybody says to you, you are going to still believe that.
Exactly.
We see a lot of this at the moment.
Hell of a
Cherry
lot.
picking facts to fit the narrative, basically.
Mhm.
Now, the other thing that this law of attraction deals with, right, is about thoughts having resonance.
Mhm.
Okay, so emotions have. Now, I've spoken about this before. I hold my hands up on this one. There is no scientific evidence to back it up at all that thoughts have a resonance. Yeah, so they have an energy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay,
Right.
I'll get you now.
So therefore, if I think rich, I will receive rich because I'm thinking rich. I'm probably just going to end up spending a lot of money I don't have. But it's
Well,
that.
you give Richard a smile on his face.
What?
Never mind.
I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole.
No.
Excuse me. Oh my God, it's made me cough. Right. So there's no scientific fact of that. We assume that, we think that, we've been taught that, we're taught that under the law of attraction. Our thoughts have power. They have energy. So you think, therefore, you're sending a message out to the universe, therefore you will receive it.
I think
Right.
therefore I am.
But there is no scientific evidence to support that at all. What there is response to events. So
Mhm.
what you do is you're thinking of something, right? I don't know. Okay, let's talk about something materialistic on this one. I really want that new car.
Bugatti Veyron. Yeah.
Yeah,
The what?
A Bugatti Veyron.
What the frick is that?
It's
car.
the car I want.
Oh, right. Okay. So think of the car you want.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've put that thought out there to the universe. I
Yeah.
want that car. I want that car. I want that car. All right. Certain things are going to have to take place for you to get that car.
Yep.
Yeah. Physical things.
Well, yeah, because they've got to hand make it first.
Well, they've got to make it.
Yeah.
Let's just go with the general car. Let's not overcomplicate this, right? So you want a car, so you got to learn to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no
That's
point having a
easy,
car if
yeah.
you don't drive, right? So let's assume you can already drive, but you want the car. You need the money to get the car. Yeah?
Yep.
And then if you have a specific model or make in mind, you've got to find the car. But you've already put that intent, it's in your head, so you're kind of primed to see it.
Yep.
So if you're driving past a car showroom, on some level, you may not be consciously searching for that car,
But you'll see them.
but on a certain level, it will pop out to you. We've talked about this in regard to angel numbers 222.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing peacocks everywhere at the moment, by the way.
Okay.
Yes, I know I work in a shop called Peacock, but Peacock is coming up a hell of a lot, right?
Yeah.
But now I've noticed, I'm seeing them everywhere.
See, now I'm gonna be seeing the Bugatti Veyron in my social media feeds
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
certain
would have picked
companies
it up.
listen in, don't they? And they
Yeah.
put in ads.
So you've got like,
But I
you've
don't
got,
mind because it's a nice car. So
so in a funny kind of way, you put that message out to, and I'm going to air quote, the universe. Yeah.
yeah.
But your environment around you and your own priming of your mental mindset is going to provide that for you.
Yeah. I'll get lots of pictures of one. So yeah.
I mean, the prime example of this is there was a standing joke between the three of us about Richard and sheds, right? Man
Yeah.
caves, right?
Man caves,
Man
yeah.
caves, sheds, right? And it went on for a little while, and we would talk about it, and we'd joke about it, and we'd laugh about it. And then all of a sudden, our news feeds were like adverts for sheds,
Yeah.
right? We were seeing adverts for sheds in our news feed. You know, we was like, you'd go around your friend's house, he's got a new shed. Oh my God, he's got a new shed. Right? But you're primed to sort of go, oh my God, you got a new shed. Normally, you probably wouldn't even notice they had a new shed, but they've got a new shed. Or you'd be driving past a garden centre and you'd see like all the beautiful like
New sheds.
Sheds out front. Yeah.
outside. because we have been talking about it and joking about it, and then we would go, "Here, Rich, saw a lovely shed the other day," or blah blah blah. Even round shackled sheds, it was all sorts of sheds, but it was coming up here, there, and everywhere because we were focused on it.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it, because algorithms on our computer and our phones were picking up on that, because I don't know, because it was just in our heads at that time. There's no proof to say that we put out a resonance of shed-worthy, and then the universe was providing us with sheds. In the same way as angel numbers, or peacocks at the moment. I've noticed it. My brain has gone, oh, hang on, there's a pattern.
See, I think with the
pattern.
shed, I think with the shed thing, I think the universe was sort of joining in with us.
I think it was having a universal laugh.
Yeah, probably having a bit with people as well.
Yeah. But it's the same with, like I say, peacock. I've noticed that now. So next time that word comes up, or that bird comes up, or that reference comes up, my brain immediately jumps on it because it's a pattern.
Yeah.
So we have effect, we have response and outcome. So it's a cause and effect kind of scenario, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a manifestation.
No, it's not at all.
I can read that as such. I can take that as such if I was trying to manifest something, because it's providing opportunity. Effectively, if I wanted a new shed, I had plenty of opportunities to buy one at that time because they were everywhere. And we were seeing cheap sheds, expensive sheds. We were seeing how plethora of sheds.
Yeah, luxury sheds.
So I can
even had a discussion about watersheds.
I can take meaning from that. Yeah. And it's provided me with the opportunity for that to manifest in my life. Do you know what I mean? It hasn't dropped a shed in my garden just out of thin air. But it's provided me with the opportunity. But part of that was off the back of normal, everyday, explainable action. Not, I sent a thought of resonance out there and the universe provided it for me. I could dress it up like that.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much, would it?
And this is where you have to be careful.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I mean, the law of attraction, the Secret and Abraham Hicks is basically saying you're magnifying something. You're putting a magnetic force out there with your thoughts, and therefore it will be attracted to you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And can you understand why I find that quite dangerous?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You have to be aware of, the boring bit. I'd love to sit there and go, the universe has listened to my message and has provided me with the opportunity. Thank you, universe. I am grateful for that. I am. When it comes, I'm very grateful because it saves me a lot of hard work. But on the same score, I'm also very, skeptical about certain people's teachings and how they dress it up. It's a personal belief. I can dress it up in a personal belief of spiritualism.
Yeah.
I can tailor it to that.
Yeah, no, I can understand that.
Action is critical. You can, and this is the point of manifestation. I can do all the crystal grids. I can send my messages out to the universe. I could do my visualization. I can do my vision boards. I could do my meditations. I could do all of those things. These are all great things. I'm not saying don't do them. I'm saying do them. They're great. They're great for focusing your mind on what you want. Yes, but you need to do the work and be open to the opportunities that are surrounding you.
Definitely.
Because the opportunities are out there, but they may come in a way that's unexpected.
Yeah.
All right? They may come in a way that you haven't particularly tailored it to. That car you want might not be the car you actually want, but it might be a car that's just as good as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must admit, there's a TV show that's actually reminding me of. You guys you'll know it as One Foot in the Grave. When he when he wanted a taxi. He actually rung up for a taxi cab, and someone left a Matchbox taxi on his doorstep.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That sort of thing. So the skills they're teaching you, the spiritual journey that these messages have, that these inspirational teachers are putting out there, they're not bad. As in, they can be dangerous depending on how you're focusing it.
yeah. Again,
As
it's down,
self-development, they're
down
good skills.
down to interpretation.
They're down to interpretation, but they're skills, and like I say, they're tools you can use. Tools need to be, you need to be taught how to use those skills. So tools, even not schools. So you have a vision, you have a goal, you have a plan. You know what you can do to achieve that.
Yep.
Do it.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Do it. Because part of these teachings are kind of saying you can do it without doing anything. As long as you do, the visualization and the meditation and the vision boards and all the woo-woo stuff, it will just happen. It needs action from yourself as well. Like I say, the universe will provide if you do the work. And the work is beyond the visualization. That is mind priming. That's important. You need to prime your mind. Yeah,
So basically, what you're saying is
practice.
these people only do half the job.
Yeah, they talk the talk, but don't walk the walk. I see a lot of that.
There is a lot of that goes around any sort of self-help community and even the religious community as well.
But then in what they do, they should also tell you that they can only help you so far. So they might give you the basics, which is what we're reading off the research. But it is you to interpret it and act appropriately.
Yeah, action.
Yeah.
And up to you to develop those skills as well. I've noticed this with myself. If I'm focused on something, I achieve it. I achieve it quite quickly as well. But maintaining focus is sometimes an issue. I'm a butterfly. I like to dip in and out and flitter from project to project. Yeah.
Yeah.
I recognize that within myself because I'm self-aware. I know what I'm like. And I'm terrible at taking opportunities that arise. I would much rather sit back and allow the opportunity to pass me by.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then sometimes I think, I should have taken that opportunity, but I never mind. I don't beat myself up over it. I just go, well, do you know what I mean? But acting on it, it's action.
Yeah.
Is important. Is just as important as the mental mindset priming. You can't do something. It's like me saying, right, I want to lose weight, right? And then picking up a chocolate bar.
Yeah.
I want to lose weight, so I sit on the sofa night after night watching telly. I want to lose weight. Right, I'm going to watch this diet program because this will give me the tools I need to know, or reading a diet sheet, or going to the even Slimming World or something like that. And then missing a week, doing it for the first 3 or 4 weeks and then missing a week. And I think, I don't want to go back now because I was really naughty last week.
Yeah.
Has, concentrated focus, longevity of focus,
Dedication
is what falls down. Yeah, dedication is key. Who sang that?
Dedication's what you need. It's Roy Castle.
Yeah, anybody who's achieved greatness has stuck to a focus and concentrated on the goal.
Absolutely.
And worked for it. An Olympian will not win a race if they've not bothered running.
No. Even if you want to take part of the London Marathon, you've got to train for it.
And it's hard.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Even people that regularly do running, marathons are hard. And some days it's easier than others. Some days they'll run a marathon and be like, wow, that was I feel great afterwards. And other times they'll hit a wall and crawl over that finish line.
Yeah, if they hit a wall, they've gone the wrong way, obviously.
So it's basically what you have to do is learn the skills that these people teach you, which are important tools because they're about focus and mindset and concentration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Action, managing your emotions and your response to things, because it's easy to give up if you come across something that's bad, right? So take the diet thing, for example, right? It's really easy to, your first few weeks, you're buying your salads and you're weighing out your ingredients and you're doing really well, you're losing weight, great, fantastic, you've lost 6 pounds, great, woohoo. Then you go out for a meal, blow it.
Yeah.
And it's interpreted as failure.
Yeah, that.
And then you become attached emotionally to failure because you failed. That's your self-perception. That's yourself that's done that. Nobody else has done that. You haven't failed at all, because the next meal you have, you straight back on it. But so many people go, oh, sod it.
Yeah,
At
can't
that
be bothered.
point, can't be bothered. So it's your emotional reaction to events that happen around you. And you have to engage in it. You engage in that journey, that the ups and downs. A graph never goes straight up unless you're in COVID, a COVID wave. It goes up and down. Do you know what I mean? So you have highs and lows. And when you're on the low, it's more important to maintain the focus and concentration to climb your way back up again. It's life, the ebb and flow, rolling with the punches, all the things we talked about right at the top of the show. Is maintaining your focus and concentration on the goal leads to the outcome, should I say, that you want. It's when you lose focus and concentration on your goal that it doesn't happen. That's where the law of attraction fails, because you disengage with it, not because it's not providing. It's just because you yourself have disengaged with that. Yeah?
Yeah, no, it makes sense, totally.
Take the opportunities that surround you. They are there. They will happen because that's life. Yeah. And you're mentally primed yourself to see those opportunities. It's up to you to take action to make the most of those opportunities. And you work to the best of your ability. And don't beat yourself up if you have a bad day.
No, absolutely not. Everyone has a bad day.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that happens, and just roll with it and pick yourself up the day after.
So the truth, the law of attraction is a partial truth. People are selling this as an absolute truth. And that's where I have an issue with it, because it's not an absolute truth. It is a partial truth.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the partial truth, that is has got more integrity than the brand. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so far.
Right,
So you can do all the things. I'm not saying don't do them. I'm saying do them. They're really important. But bear in mind that's not it. The secret is all about self-progression, self-faith, self-ability, self-strength, self-courage, self-action. Okay?
Sounds good.
There. That's the secret.
Okay.
It's not. I read a piece that said the idea of putting it out there, like sending a message to the universe and waiting for the cosmic vending machine to deliver your manifestation is nonsense. And I love that, the cosmic vending machine.
Yeah.
You know, having said that, there is one proviso. If you're praying for somebody and sending healing out to somebody, don't stop doing that just because that's sending it out into the ethos. Don't stop, because everybody likes to know that they're supported, even if it's by a thought by somebody. But don't just put it out there. Send them a note. I'm thinking of you. I'm sending you healing. You've got this. Put that out there to the person as much as to the universe, because that would have more effect than anything.
Yeah, it also give them like the positive thinking as well.
Yeah, it also helps the individual that's suffering. So
Yeah. Not
I
not
get that.
not positive thinking, because you called it something else.
Did I?
Yeah, you said it ain't positive thinking, it's something else. I can't remember.
Oh, yes, it's oh God, I can't remember what I said now. It's expectation, the power of expectation.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, do both. Do it manifesting, and send your signal out to the universe, but tell the person as well. If you want, I see this in spiritualist churches quite a lot. A healing book. Put the name in the healing book.
Oh yeah, sort of.
Yeah, and then they do
use,
like a focused intention on healing for people. Tell the person, I've put your name in the healing book. Do you know what's the harm in telling somebody you've done that for them?
And they go, that's nice. What the hell's a healing book?
But then you explain it. It's fine.
Yeah. And they go, oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
the mind is horrible. Your own self-mind is horrible. It's full of self-doubt. It's the monkey mind, right? It's conflicted. Your mind is constantly in conflict with itself at the best of times. It's full of self-doubt and crap that goes on. And, we react. Unfortunately, we do react to other people's influence on us, don't we?
Yeah.
You can't help that. Yeah, you can't help that. That is part of the human condition. It is your mind is in conflict with itself.
But
So
they got a bill for that.
But the tools that these are teaching you, the manifestation tools, or the law of attraction, or the secret, or Abraham Hicks, or all those, they are kind of teaching you to have a good relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
And how to overcome a lot of the self-doubt. Mental mindset is a massive thing in intention work. When we do ritual work, we talk about setting your mind to a void state, so you're not thinking of anything.
Yeah, I
when
do
we
that
talk
regularly.
yeah when we talk about connecting to spirit or intuition, clear your mind of thought. And those those mind monkeys are horrible. They're popping at the worst times. And so training your mind and being emotionally intelligent, having control over your emotions is important. But again, that's self-work. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. That's to do with you. When you have a situation, you have to evaluate it and go, okay, so challenge yourself. What do I think about that? I mean, some of the most powerful realizations of self came from, I would sit down to do a meditation, and then a monkey mind thought would pop in, and I go, okay, so my mind's not going to get off that. Let's examine that then. Let's work through that and think and work through that. So, okay, so where does that come from? What's my belief system behind that? Where do I think that started from? Why do I think I'm not worthy of that? Or why do I think that I should only do that when I could do that? And why aren't I doing that? What's stopping me from doing that? Am I fearful of something? You know what I mean? And other times I've leaps of faith.
Yeah.
You have to have that relationship with your own mind. It's incredibly challenging at times, and sometimes it's not a one working fixes all. I mean, some internal workings, we work through things. You've seen how I work through things.
Yeah.
I start at a point of emotional overload and then work through that to come through the other side, generally stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you know, Paul, you've known me probably the longest here. I'm nowhere near as emotional as I used to be.
No, you're not.
Age, I think, has done that to me.
Yeah,
But I
you
also
mellowed.
yeah,
have
you're only
mellowed.
21. So,
Yeah, I know. I've progressed so far in my 21 years on this earth.
yeah,
I mean, age does help with some of these techniques, I will say that. But it's because I've done the work. I work through things, and then sometimes I go, well, actually, it's not really important, is it?
yeah, no, that's pretty
Is
much.
it important? No, and let it go.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very much like that.
Can I do anything about that? No. So can I
Mhm.
change that circumstance? No. So I roll with what I've got.
Yeah,
You know, that sounds very blasé. Again, it sounds blasé, doesn't it?
yeah, but then that don't sweat the small stuff. At the end of the day, even the big stuff don't matter as long as you've got your health. Nothing really else matters.
I think I have to say the realization of an ever evolving situation, nothing's ever set in stone. It's always evolving was one of the biggest realizations of my life. So even in my worst moments, you never stay there. It always evolves. It
Yeah,
always changes. Like when I'm really in a good place, I know that could change, not necessarily for the better, or it could get better. Do you know what I mean? You just have to let it flow.
yeah,
I mean,
just roll with the flow.
yeah. So the secret is this. Your thoughts, feelings, and reactions are within your command and your control, and you will determine your responses to the events you experience.
Yep.
You are 100% responsible for your responses to the events in your life. And this in turn will shape, influence, and create the outcomes that you seek and that are aligned with your life purpose and vision.
Absolutely spot on there.
That's the secret.
Yep.
Now, if you want to read more, go over to www.zentools.net, which was a great little resource I found for working my way through this particular situation, this topic, should I say. That was a great little resource. It gave me some really good scientific sides and some other perspectives that I maybe wouldn't have explored when I was looking at this topic. So go over there, have a look at that particular website, and please feel free, go check out The Secret, go check out Abraham Hicks. Some of their teachings, although they're brands and they are a money-making business, some of their teachings are relevant and give you useful tools and skills. And we all need those, right?
Absolutely. I've even got the. I'm so glad I didn't pay for the book now. But I got the book, so I'll have a read of that.
Well, is that your free book for the month on
It
Kindle,
is.
is it?
Yeah, yeah.
I see.
That's it. Yeah.
So let's think of some examples then of where the law of attraction that we have come to the understanding of has affected our lives today.
Well, yeah, I don't know because I've not read the book, and my brain's mush at the moment.
I'll tell you one. And this is where I very first started on my crystal journey. I got to a point in my life where I was working 3 part-time jobs and it still wasn't enough money coming in. I was still in a poverty state, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted more money. That was my main focus. What am I going to do to earn more money? Bearing in mind, single mum, 2 young kids, I was restricted. And I wanted something that would fulfill me as well, rather than just being another mundane job. Nothing wrong with the mundane jobs, but I was already
No.
doing 3 of them. Yeah. So the next job I had to be fulfilling for me on a soul level rather than just a physical level.
Yep.
And I was sitting there with my son one night, and I'd had a tarot reading that had basically said the idea was going to come through as a young child, but that had been like a year and a half, 2 years before this.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting there and there was nothing on the TV. So we were looking at images of crystals because I like a pretty rock, me, and on the computer. and he was interested in those sort of things too. So we were just looking at those sort of images on the computer just for something to do more than anything else. And he turned around and he said, "Why don't you have a look at it?" And it was a wholesale crystal website. So I logged on, had a look, didn't have enough money to do an order at all. It wasn't even a massive amount, the minimum order for the wholesale. And I was like, right, had a look at it. I was like, okay, well, it's food for thought. That's all I can say. The next day, yeah, I popped round a friend's house. The kids went off with their dad, and I popped round a friend's house. And she'd been to a metaphysical shop, and she'd bought an oracle deck, a fairy oracle deck. And we were playing around with that. Sorry, not fairy, angel. And we were playing around with that. And the first card that came out was crystals. The second card that came out was go for it. And the third card that came out was way forward. I'm thinking this is a little bit freaky.
Yeah.
Right? Still haven't got the money. The following day, and this is exactly progression of how this happened. The following day, a check landed on my doorstep there was an electricity issue going on. It was a big court case, and somebody had taken an electricity company to court because they'd been overcharging people, and they'd had to refund, and it had gone down to everybody. They'd had to look at everybody's accounts, and it was just coincidence that the check landed on the door when it did. But what was weird was the amount of money it was for. It's for the exact amount a minimum order would have been at this wholesaler's.
Spooky
stuff.
Yeah. So I then had the choice. The universe has given me an opportunity, right? And I had a choice with that
To be
money.
fair, it didn't just give you that opportunity. I think it slapped you around the head several times.
It kind of did, but I
Yeah.
still could have used that money on other things. The kids needed new shoes at that time. Do you know what I mean?
I
could have
don't worry
gone.
about them.
Exactly. And I had to take that choice. And I took the leap of faith. I took that money and I spent it on a minimum order for crystals, right? Which my parents, as you can imagine, were like, what the hell are you doing? What a waste of goddamn money. Well, since then, that was what, 9 years ago, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
That road has led me down this road that I'm on now. I
Yeah.
sell
Oh,
crystals, which fulfills my soul and helps, that helps my spiritual side and my spiritual development. It's helped millions. It's helped lots of other people throughout their life. It's created a source of income for me and my family.
Yeah.
Which, fulfills me and I still have a normal job as well. It hasn't replaced my job. It's given me an added income, which I'm very grateful for because it's made life a lot easier over the years. It's led me into the paranormal, where I've met some amazing people throughout my time. I've expanded my knowledge base through learning on both crystal, spiritual, and paranormal, all passions of mine. It's enriched my life to a way that I cannot emphasize enough. Did I manifest that, or was that just how it was supposed to happen?
Yeah, no, that's how it's supposed to happen.
Or am I just seeing, or maybe I just took the opportunity and it's paid off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what life's all about.
Richard?
Well, yeah. I mean, did you sort of create that, or was it just by chance? I mean, you don't know really, do you? I mean, because at the end of the day, I mean, there's always sort of room to be a bit sort of, well, is it? But what the hell? And just enjoy it. I mean, it's happened. So whatever way it's happened, it can't be that bad, can it?
No, for me, it's worked out brilliantly. For me, it's worked out perfectly. But I've done a lot of work in that.
Yeah.
Personally, I've done a lot of work in that. I mean, God, I've worked physically hard.
You wait till she
You got the
expands
ball
and
rolling.
as a second shop up north.
You never know. You never know.
I know someone that would quite happily take that on for you.
I know. Rich, what about you? Do you think there's anything that you've manifested in your life?
Oh Christ, I don't know. This is something when I was in treatment rehab for alcohol. They were very heavy on all this mindfulness and stuff, and it was mindfulness sort of overload. But I did sort of follow a sort of a course, something called transactional analysis, where they taught you that your personality was made up of 3 different layers. You had your adult, your and your child. They were sort of ego states, and I did and still do on occasion sort of fall back on that, and it does seem to actually work. You know, I try not to question it too much, but it does actually seem to work. You know, so
It's kept you on the wagon for a lot of years.
yeah, it has. Yeah, so yeah, again, you know, that can't be bad news, can it?
That's got to be a positive, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably sum all that up in one word: dillygaff.
What?
Dillygaff.
What's that mean?
It's do I look like I give a?
Oh,
Kevin Bloody Wilson's song.
I do. Yeah, it does mean it does. It does.
Yeah, dillygaff.
It does mean something. Whether or not it's the power of the universe, or whether or not that's the work you do for yourself, I don't know. But I will take it for whatever it is. I would say whatever resonates with you, whatever works for you, for whatever issues you're having out there, find something that works for you to overcome.
Yeah.
To empower yourself to move forward with whatever that is. You know, so not every circumstance is the same. Not everybody's journey is the same. But if it works for you, then go for it. But just bear in mind, there are brands out there, and take what you can from it for your self-progression and your self-empowerment. And don't shame anybody that maybe isn't on the same pathway as you.
Very much so.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
On that note, we've actually come to the end of the show.
Wow, that was
Really?
the
Cool.
first show in 2022, everybody. And we've blown your mind already.
I know, right?
Yep.
Oh well, we've got no blogs out.
Not yet.
We're summing up our next book at the moment. We're finishing that off. It's got to go off to the proofreaders, hashtag.
Yeah.
So if you keep an eye out for the next one, because we'll soon let you know when that is. On that note, say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.